Congratulations to the class of 2012. It is a beautiful day. It's a wonderful time to graduate. My name is Muhammad J. Farah. But when I was asked to do this, I started doing a little research. And let me tell you, I Googled the word Somalia, and I saw nothing but a lot of bad pictures and bad news. And then I dig deep into before the war and see what was like Somalia like, what was the Somali education like before the war. And let me tell you, I found out that in Somalia there was only one university before the war, and that university was called Somali National University. There was two campuses. One was called Lafole and the other one was called Geher. And let me tell you, can you imagine a whole nation that has one university? One university. That's it. And fast forward to 2012, this year, Somalia has 13 universities. And let me tell you, we benefit a lot from what happened in Somalia, the war. A lot of people think that that war have destroyed everything. Of course, the war has claimed so many lives. It made us, leave our country. There's a lot of pain, of course, but there's also there are benefits of what happened in Somalia. What are the benefits? Well, Somalia right now has 13 universities. That's one example. Somalia now is excavating oil. Somalia has now companies that are that are huge companies. Somalia has now many knowledgeable people around the world, like you, like yourselves. And let me tell you, almost every state there's Somali graduates. Minneapolis has the largest Somali community in the Western Hemisphere, and I was told that close to 500 people graduate each year. So that is one example. I like to see that story, the story of success. Whenever I Google Somalia, I like to say that story comes up. Not only that, I also look at Somalia economy, and in comparison with neighboring countries, Somalia is relatively doing okay. But that story isn't told. The story that says Somalia is a failed state is what we hear. We need to change the narrative. The narrative has to change. So you have responsibility. Knowledge comes with responsibility. The degrees that you have today, it is my wish, it is my hope that you used your degree to change what's happening in Somalia. If you can change that, change what's happening right here in community, right here in this community, in Boston community. Boston welcomed us. We love Boston. Boston's also our home, our second home. But also Somalia is also our country. This is our adopted country. United States is our adopted country, and Somalia is our birth country. And I'm speaking that for myself and those who were born in Somalia. So I wanted to congratulate you, but I also want to tell you that you've achieved what you've achieved. Success produces success. The first success is the one that you have right now, the degree, the diploma that you have today. That is a success. The second success is in your hands, because remember, success produces other successes. How do you do that? Well, look at your past. You need to go back to your own history and see where you came from. In comparison of that, you're doing good. And then you mark yourself, where am I gonna go? Where will this education take me? Write that down. And every day at that, take a small marginal steps towards that goal. Well, in Somalia right now, what's happening right now is the cloud of war is drifting away from Somalia. And now the progress and peace is what's happening in Somalia right now. You can contribute to that. How do you contribute to that? Somalia, I told you, has 13 universities. Those 13 universities need knowledgeable people to drive. Institution has to be built, but those institutions have to have knowledgeable people that can drive. Somalia did not destroy itself. Somalia was destroyed by leadership. Clan never destroyed Somalia. Clan was used. But what was destroyed Somalia is people who leaders who didn't have a long-term strategic vision. Leaders that were not careful with their actions. That's what destroys Somalia. What's going to build Somalia is you. Each one of us must contribute to what's happening in Somalia. Let me tell you something. Everywhere that I go, people stop me, and whenever I'm doing lecture, or I'm talking in front of a crowd, first thing they do is, where are you from? And of course, it's natural for me to say, I'm from Somalia. And as soon as I say I'm from Somalia, what do they say? Well, tell us about piracy, or tell us about Al-Shabaab, tell us about this. We won't change the narrative. That narrative will not be changed. Now, you cannot judge the people that ask you those questions. They have the right to ask those questions because that is what is being told in the media. And that's the only information that they know. It is you and I's responsibility to change that narrative and to create something that we can be proud of. I am incredibly proud of the graduates. Why? Because we share the same looks, we share the same language. You're Somal, I am Somal. We are part of this giant family of humanity. We're part of this world. We're not, our success is the success of other communities. If this community does well, the community next door does well. Because remember, if one house is doing well, the other house tend to learn from that, from what they're doing well. If one house is on fire, the neighbor next door will be on fire. So humanity is interconnected. And I won't get into that, but you can Google everything I'm saying. If I'm not telling the truth, you can Google it. Congratulations once again. Do well, continue to do well, inspire other people. Do not get, just because there's a lot of bad news in Somalia, doesn't mean that you shouldn't say you're not from Somalia. Be proud of who you are. I'm proud of who I am. I'm always going to be proud of who I am. Because why? I can't run away from Somalia. That's who I am. I will tell the story of what is happening in Somalia. There's a lot of good things that are happening in Somalia. And that's all I can do. But in terms of saying that I'm not from Somalia, that's not going to happen. I'm an American from Somali descent. And I am incredibly proud of you. And continue to do well. Congratulations.